Hey guys, it's Jason from Outdoor Adventures, and today we're going to talk about hammock suspensions. There are a ton of different hammock suspensions out there, and today I thought I'd give you a rundown of the three main types, that I've used, and that would be a strap system, E&O, Atlas straps, or Hammock straps, the Cinch buckle system, and a Whoopie Sling system. I'm not going to have a long intro here. I just want to dive into it. I'm going to be throwing information at you. Hopefully I don't miss anything, but I apologize if I do, and I apologize if I get anything wrong here. The first suspension we're going to take a look at are the Atlas straps. Now, you can also substitute Hammock straps for these. I just happen to have E&O straps. So the theory behind these are you wrap this end around a tree, and there's a loop on the one end. You slide the other line, the end of the line, through this loop, and now you are secured to the tree. You do the same thing on the other side. So let me get that set up. Now you can see this tree is a lot bigger than the other tree we just wrapped around, probably a little over twice the size. But it's the same principle. Take the loop, put the other end through it, and you pull through, and then you're locked in. We're going to use my Warbonnet Blackbird to show you how this actually works. I have a couple carabiners in my pocket. Okay, simple carabiners. Now, ignore the cinch buckle system on the other side. I just have it for a quick setup later when we talk about that. But basically, you have a continuous loop on one end, and this is, for instance, this is just am steel. It's just a loop. You thread it in your hammock and you wrap it around the gathered end of the hammock. Okay, so we're going to take this loop, we're going to hook a carabiner onto it. Okay, and now we're going to take the tree strap, the Atlas strap, and find the appropriate loop to hang it on. We're going to try this loop right here. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll try it. So you just take the loop and you hook it in. Okay, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to take it, we're going to hook the carabiner on, we're going to take our Atlas strap, and we're going to get it right about here. Now, obviously, we are too low on this side, so we're going to raise it up a little bit. And I apologize, I'm doing this with one hand, but we're going to raise it up 3 loops. So now we're here. Okay? And our hammock is hung. This is the Atlas strap system. Now, the pros of the Atlas strap system. You have complete adjustability within 2 inches. Okay? So if you wanted the perfect hang and your loop needed to be here, right in the middle of this loop, you would have to be down an inch and compensate it somehow. If you're a perfectionist, these might not be worth it for you. These retail for $29.95 on Amazon.com, and they're made by, you can get them on Hammock, or you can get them through E&O, Eagle's Nest Outfitters. This system is great for beginners, as you basically just have to loop it in and you're done. Okay, there's really no thought process involved in here. So as long as you know how to use a carabiner, you can use this system. Now the cons for this, they're a bit heavy, and they're very, very bulky. And I will show you the bulk of each one of these at the end of the video. Now we're going to look at the cinch buckle system. So basically what it is, it's a continuous loop, wraps around the gathered end of the hammock, and it's attached to these 2 little cinch buckles, and you run your webbing in between. You can make this webbing any length that you want. I think this is 15 feet right here, and this works for me all the time. I've never encountered a tree that was bigger than this for what I needed to do. Now, in my opinion, this is even easier than the Atlas strap systems, and with the Atlas strap system, it really is a no-brainer. So you can imagine how easy this is. All you do, you take one end around the tree, okay, one end around the tree. This end has a loop that you can put a carabiner on. Okay. You wrap it to the other side and clip it into the suspension system, which hugs around the tree. And now you can simply tighten it and move it up and down basically however you want. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Grabbing a carabiner, hooking it through the loop, and hooking it onto the other strap, or the other side of the strap, locking it into place. You can see again, we're a little low here. This is the easy part about this. Instead of unclipping your hammock with the carabiner, you can get complete adjustability. There's no loops that you have to follow through. Whenever you want to stop, you can stop. You don't have to go every 2 inches like on the Atlas straps. You can have the perfect hang with this. Now, the pros and cons for the cinch buckle system. It gives you complete adjustability, like I mentioned already. And the cons, it's a little bit hard to detach the system since it's already here. You'd have to like take this the whole way out if it rains. Also, they are a little bulky. The cinch buckle system from DutchWearGear.com costs $22.80. That gets you a pair of cinch buckles, that gets you the continuous loop, Amsteel continuous loop that you need for your gathered end of your hammock, and it gets you, and the only thing else you have to buy is a carabiner, 2 carabiners. So $22.80 for this. Now the last suspension I'm going to talk to you about are Whoopie Slings. These are more expensive than the other 2 suspensions you've seen, but they pack down incredibly small compared to the other 2. I believe these go for $42.85 on DutchWearGear.com. And this is the suspension that I just recently switched to. Probably gone about 8 nights with this so far, and it's been pretty good. I did have a problem before, and I'm hoping I can recreate this for you today just to show you the only con of this system. So let me start by saying you have this webbing. This is called a tree strap. It's similar to the cinch buckle system. You take it, you wrap it around the tree, you hook a carabiner into the loop, and this this clips into the other side of the tree strap. Okay, locks it into place. Again, we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now, like I said before, guys, this tree is a lot bigger than that one over there. These are 4-foot tree huggers. Now, these come in a variety of sizes, 4, 6, 8, 10. You can get these however long you want. You can even make your own for really long ones. Okay, again, wrap it around the tree. Now, here you can see that this tree is too big for 4-foot huggers. So what do we do with that? Well, you could take your carabiner, again, clip it to this end, and then clip it onto your Whoopie Sling, which may wear on the Amsteel of the Whoopie Sling. Another thing you could do is you could run the Whoopie Sling through the tree strap and do it that way. Now, this will wear on your Amsteel after time, unless you're really careful. And my suggestion is maybe put a piece of Tyvek or around where your Whoopie Sling is actually touching the tree. Or you can get longer tree huggers, which would make it easier. I probably would recommend 6 foot. To adjust these, okay, think of a Whoopie Sling as a hollow core piece of string. So basically what they did here is the single length Whoopie Sling, and then it's threaded back through itself and it comes out the other side. To adjust this, you simply grab very lightly on where it comes back out, and you simply just pull the string, okay, and to get it to whatever length that you actually want to get it to. If you want to loosen it, you find where it's coming out on the other side, and you again very lightly pinch that other side and just pull it. Okay? Now the only additional thing I have on here are these little titanium clips from DutchWearGear.com. They're known as whoopie hooks, I believe. And this simply connects onto your Amsteel continuous loop of your hammock. Okay? So let me hook the other side of the hammock onto this hook from the other tree. Okay, so let me adjust this so you can see it. Now we're pinching the end that's coming off the whoopie sling, and we are just making it a little longer here. Alright, and that should be good. So let me do the same thing on the other side, only we're going to raise that side. Okay, so now we're going to grab this end by the tree strap, and we're just going to raise this up a little bit here. Guys, there is one issue with the whoopie slings that I have just found on my last trip. If you are at a camp and the trees are too close, similar to how these two trees are acting for me here, and the trees that I found that this really didn't work on were even a little bit closer than the ones that are out here. Now, as you pull this line to tighten your whoopie sling, there is basically a stopper. These aren't unlimited adjustability. So if you can see this line, you have to have a little bit of line that you can pull this back through, or else it's simply just going to stop, and you cannot pull this anymore. Okay, and once this is pulled, it's very hard to get this back out. You have to use some kind of like tent stake or your teeth, and then that'll solve your problem. I know I can wrap this tree strap around the tree another time and loop it back through the carabiner. I know I can do that. The problem is, if this is a big tree, or if this tree is even closer together, you're going to run into the problem where you're just not going to be able to raise your hammock length up enough. The way I got around this was I actually wrapped this whoopie sling through a tree branch and basically put a little toggle, used the tree branch as a toggle. And that was the only way I got this to work. Is that a big deal? Probably not, but it did happen to me one time. And that one time I got a terrible night's sleep. I was laying basically like this. There wasn't any other trees that were farther apart that I could use. Okay, and that it kind of ticked me off a little bit, but not enough to make the switch back to cinch buckles. I still really like this system. I think it's one of the best systems out there. But just be aware of that. As a beginner, you probably wouldn't want to start with this. You may want to start with the cinch buckle systems because you don't have to worry about the length of the trees. You just clip it around a tree and you go, and you're done. And that's about it. Now the cool thing with this is if it rains, if this stuff gets wet, simply detach your hammock, pack this away with your tent stakes like I do, and just let it dry. Hang off your pack. So here we have a tree, all three suspensions, and there's a branch literally right above all three of the suspensions. Now what we're going to do is, say you want to raise your hammock up. Say you got to the good angle, but it's just not high enough for you. So with the whoopie sling suspension, it's really simple. You unclip it, you can leave this attached to your hammock, unclip it, raise it up above the limb, and you clip it back into place, and you're done. Okay? Same thing with the cinch buckle system. Unhook it from the carabiner, you can leave your hammock attached to it still, put it above the tree, and then you're done. Okay? Now the downside of this strap system, since it's going through itself, you'll have to unhook your hammock first of all, drag the strap through the loop, go above the tree, put it back in, and then you're done. You could do that. So you could just simply go here, and then you're done. You need a carabiner here, and you need a carabiner attached to your hammock in here. So you need to carry 4 carabiners with this setup. Alright guys, now we're going to take a look at the weights of each of these suspensions and kind of like their pack sizes now that we can kind of lay them all out and see them all together. This is going to be without carabiners on because you're going to need carabiners or something like these titanium Dutch clips, which I absolutely love these. This is what I use on my suspensions. This takes the place of a carabiner, but this is another topic. We'll get into this in another video. So for now, we're going to leave the carabiners out of the weights. So let's take a look at the heaviest and bulkiest system, the strap system by E&O. We are at 8.8 ounces or 253 grams. And you can see the bulk of these two items right here. Okay. Okay, the cinch buckles weigh 5.4 ounces, 5.3 ounces, or 149 grams, we'll say. 148 grams. And you can see how bulky these are. So just for reference, Atlas straps, cinch buckles. These are, it may not look like it, but these are by far less bulkier, if you want to see it that way. Okay, and now the Whoopie Slings. And this is including the amp steel loop that goes on your hammock as well. So the Whoopie Slings are really, really light. They come in at 3.1 ounces or 90 grams. And you can kind of see the pack size here. Now, obviously, I have these strings wrapped, so they look a little bigger and bulkier. But if you want to go lightweight, this would be your option. Now, in conclusion, which suspension do I prefer? I can tell you this. I do not like the strap system, E&O or Hammock straps. I believe Hammocks are a little lighter, just from what I've read online, but the adjustability issues here, you do have these rungs, you know, spaced 2 or 3 inches apart. So you have all this adjustability that you're not getting with the strap system. You can get this adjustability simply by using basically the same thing but in a cinch buckle. So these are out for me. I'm not bringing these. There's no reason to buy these. They're more expensive than the cinch buckles. And they're not, I mean, they're bulky. They're very, very bulky, and they're the heaviest of the 3 suspensions. So these are going to be out for me. Now, what we are left with are the cinch buckles or the Whoopie Slings. And I've been kicking this idea around for months. And I have both of them. I've kind of shied away from the Whoopie Slings recently just because I don't want to say they're not as versatile, because they are definitely a versatile suspension. I think I like the cinch buckle system because it is so easy to do. You don't have to worry about how wide or how thin the trees are. As long as the trees support your weight and it doesn't damage the tree in any way, you can use this. You know, I mean, this is a 15-foot tree hugger basically. So you're just cutting out the Whoopie Sling adjustment, and you're just using a tree hugger with basically, you know, a buckle here to allow you to adjust it. You can get unlimited adjustability with these. They're a couple ounces more than the Whoopie Slings, but it's just less of a hassle for me. Now, that being said, I really, really do like the Whoopie Sling suspension. Yeah, it's more money, but it's lighter. It's way more compressible. The hammock comes off of the suspension very easily. If this is wet, you can store this in like a mesh pocket, let it dry out during the day, and not have your hammock, you know, just kind of out in the open, drying out. You can kind of just pack these two separately if you want. And I really like that. It's something that you can do with the cinch buckle system. It's just a bigger, pain in the butt. See, I can take this the whole way off, and I'm just left with the cinch buckles. So I can store this in a pocket and let this dry out, or whatever I want to do during the day if it rains hard. And I can, not with ease, but I can eventually put this back on the buckle system when needed. But this, I just want to like more. I just wish it offered a little bit more of adjustability. So if you are ready for the Whoopie Slings, and you know, I wouldn't have a beginner start out with these at all. I would stick to the cinch buckle systems. But if you are looking to take that next step in getting your hammock system lighter, then by all means, go with Whoopie Slings. Like I said, I would get 5-foot tree huggers. I think that seems to be a good average, because I've had plenty of trees that just don't support these. I just wish I had an extra foot on the strap. So I think I'm going to stick with cinch buckles, at least for now. Especially in the winter, I don't want to have to be pulling the where is it at? I don't want to have to be pulling this line through if it gets wet or if it gets frozen. I think that would be a big pain in the butt. With this, I don't really have to worry about anything. I mean, this is just, it doesn't matter if this thing is froze up. I mean, you can just pull that out. So, for a couple ounces more and a little bit bigger bulk, I'm going to stick with the cinch buckle system for now. Like I said, guys, if you're even remotely considering a strap system, I really don't recommend it. I had these for about 6 months, and then I kind of just switched to the cinch buckle system, and I haven't looked back. I mean, these are just too bulky, and for the price, this is definitely the cheapest option. But for the money, cinch buckles or Whoopie Slings are the way to go. So guys, I know I threw a lot of information out at you. If you have any questions about either 3 suspensions, I'll be happy to answer you. Just comment below or find me on Facebook via Outdoor Adventures. And thanks for watching, guys, and I hope this helps somebody.